Recognizing today as both Easter Sunday and Transgender Day of Visibility.
Made in the image of God and deserving of dignity, respect, and support.
President Joe Biden is facing criticism this morning from Donald Trump's campaign and religious conservatives.
I think we got to hit it head on and suggest to President Trump and Mike Johnson and Senator Blackburn and others who...
With your support, we're going to win the Wisconsin Republican primary in a landslide that'll be in a few hours.
You cannot be wasting time responding to these ridiculous questions and ridiculous stories over and over again.
Criticism of Biden's recognition. All right, let's dive into this interesting mix of politics and cultural recognition. So, picture this. It's Easter Sunday, a day many folks celebrate for its religious significance, and then suddenly, there's a whole other event in the mix, Transgender Day of Visibility. Well, some people on the right, including the Trump campaign, weren't too happy about this double recognition. First off, you've got the Trump campaign demanding a White House apology.
Recognizing today as both Easter Sunday and Transgender Day of Visibility.
President Joe Biden is facing criticism this morning from Donald Trump's campaign and religious conservatives.
The Trump campaign called on the White House to issue an apology.
I think we got to hit it head on and suggest to President Trump and Mike Johnson and Senator Blackburn and others who I am not sure the theology upon which they rely to criticize Joe Biden.
They're basically saying, hold up, Biden, you can't just throw in another celebration on Easter Sunday and expect everyone to be cool with it. They see it as controversial, like Biden's crossing some invisible line by acknowledging both Easter and Transgender Day of Visibility on the same day. But wait, it doesn't stop there. House Republican Speaker Mike Johnson jumps into the mix, adding his 2 cents on social media. He's not mincing words either, calling Biden's decision outrageous and important. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. Johnson's basically saying, this isn't just a little slip-up, folks, it's a big deal. Now, why all the fuss? Well, for starters, Easter is a pretty big deal in the Christian calendar. It's all about celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So you can imagine why some folks might feel a bit miffed about sharing the spotlight with another event. And then you throw in Transgender Day of Visibility, which aims to raise awareness about the transgender community and their struggles. It's like mixing oil and water for some people. They just don't see how the two can coexist without causing a stir.
Everyone's celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility. I want you to know that your president sees you.
Proclamation Friday calling on all Americans to join us in lifting up the lives and voices of transgender people.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, Rev, to be honest. I mean, there's a little bit of dirty political pool here.
Made in the image of God and deserving of dignity, respect, and support.
If you're President Biden and you're the White House, you cannot fall for this sham.
So there you have it. Biden's recognition of both Easter Sunday and Transgender Day of Visibility has stirred up controversy. The Trump campaign wants an apology, and House Republican Speaker Mike Johnson isn't holding back on his criticism. It's a clash of cultures and beliefs, all playing out on the political stage. Response from White House. When the White House steps into the ring, you know things are about to get interesting. White House Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates came out swinging, condemning the divisive rhetoric flying around and defending Biden's stance. He made it clear that Biden isn't about to use his faith as a political pawn, which is like dropping a truth bomb in the middle of all the chaos. And here's the kicker. This whole overlap thing, it's not exactly breaking news. Turns out, Easter and Transgender Day of Visibility have collided on the calendar before.
What the hell was Biden thinking when he declared Easter Sunday to be trans visibility?
The onslaught of anti-transgender state laws attacking you and your families is simply wrong.
We are going to win this state, we're going to win the White House, and we are going to save our country. We're going to save our country.
Biden will never abuse his faith for political purposes or for profit.
Transgender seniors can age with dignity. and to finally pass a bipartisan Equality Act.
Back in 2013. So it's not like Biden just pulled this out of thin air. But hey, history doesn't always stop folks from getting fired up, does it? Now, some critics are raising their eyebrows and suggesting there's more to this than meets the eye. They're saying Biden's move is all about shifting the spotlight away from other juicy political topics. Think Republican leadership records and the legal roller coaster Trump's been riding lately. It's like they're calling foul play, accusing Biden of using the old distraction tactic to take the heat off other issues. So there you have it. The White House isn't backing down, defending Biden's stance and slamming the divisive chatter. And with a little history lesson thrown in, we're reminded that this clash of calendars isn't exactly new. But hey, politics wouldn't be politics without a bit of drama and speculation, right? Countering cultural scandals. Alright, buckle up, because it's strategy time for Team Biden. So, when faced with what they see as a cultural scandal, they're not about to take the bait and get sucked into the drama vortex. Instead, they're all about clarity. They're going to lay it out plain and simple, pointing out the stark differences between Biden's actions and those of his critics. It's like shining a spotlight on the real issues. You know, stuff like governance and legal challenges. They're saying, hey, while you're busy getting worked up over calendars, let's not forget there are bigger fish to fry. And speaking of distractions, Team Biden isn't here for it. They're all about staying laser focused on the stuff that really matters. They're not about to waste time and energy on what they call sham controversies. Nope, they're keeping their eyes on the prize and steering clear of the drama trap. So there you have it. Team Biden's game plan for countering cultural scandals. It's all about clarity, contrast, and keeping their eyes on the prize. Let's see if they can stick to their strategy and come out on top on this political ring. Happy to debate Trump. Looks like we've got some political showdown brewing. President Joe Biden isn't backing down from a challenge, especially when it comes from none other than former President Donald Trump. In an interview with Howard Stern, Biden threw down the gauntlet, saying he'd be happy to debate Trump. Now that's the kind of spicy political drama we love to see. Biden's openness to a debate comes after months of deflecting the question. But now, he's all in, ready to take on Trump on the debate stage. And you know Trump wasn't going to let that slide. He quickly responded on social media, throwing out suggestions for where and when they could duke it out, including the courthouse where Trump's facing some legal heat. Talk about taking the fight right to the source. But let's not forget the backstory here. Despite Trump skipping out on Republican primary debates in the past, he's been relentless in calling for a showdown with Biden. And now that the polls are tightening up, it's game on for both sides.
To suggest to them that actually the Jesus they celebrate today would be inclusive of the transgender community.
With your support, we're going to win the Wisconsin Republican primary in a landslide that'll be in a few hours.
Michael, this day of awareness for trans Americans has been recognized since 2010.
This administration is standing up for you against all these hateful bills, and we're committed to advancing transgender equality.
You presided over a disaster over the past year or so. You have constant threat of government shutdown.
The stage is set, the challenge is out there, and the whole world's watching. Will Biden and Trump go head to head? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this debate showdown could be one for the history books. In the meantime, Biden's not just talking politics. He's opening up about his family history, sharing personal stories about his father's struggles and the tragic losses he faced. And when it comes to the Supreme Court's recent rulings, Biden's not holding back, calling it extremely conservative and shaking up the political landscape. So grab your popcorn and buckle up, folks. The Biden versus Trump debate showdown might just be the political event of the year. Kennedy threatens Biden and Trump. It's a political showdown that's heating up the headlines. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is shaking things up in the presidential race, and both Biden and Trump are feeling the heat. In the world of polls and politics, Kennedy's independent ticket with Nicole Shanahan has been turning heads, especially as it seems to be taking votes away from Biden. But hold on to your hats, because the plot thickens. Recent polls are showing Biden actually running better in a five-way race than in a head-to-head matchup against Trump. Yup, you heard that right. Biden's gaining ground when other candidates like Cornel West and Jill Stein are thrown into the mix. And with Kennedy cutting into the MAGA vote, Team Trump is starting to sweat. Behind closed doors, Trump's not as confident as he lets on. He's asking the big question: will Kennedy actually help or hurt his chances? And with Kennedy pulling higher favorability numbers from Republican voters, the stakes are getting higher. It's like a political chess game. So, what's the plan? Well, Trump's already starting to paint Kennedy as too far left, hoping to sway potential voters away from him. And if Kennedy continues to siphon votes from both Biden and Trump, things could get even more intense.
You cannot be wasting time responding to these ridiculous questions and ridiculous stories over and over again.
The March 31st designation overlaps with Easter today, one of Christianity's holiest celebrations.
November 5th is going to be called something else. It's going to be called Christian Visibility Day.
Accusing Biden, a Roman Catholic, of being insensitive to religion, and fellow Republicans piled on.
Campaigns might have to decide whether to attack Kennedy head-on or hope he fades into the background as Election Day approaches. But let's not forget about Kennedy's ballot access. He's making moves in several key states, and that could shake up the game even more. It's like a high-stakes game of three-dimensional chess, and both Biden and Trump are ready to play. So buckle up, folks. It's going to be a wild ride as the race heats up and Kennedy threatens to upset the political apple cart. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.